Hi, welcome to my channel Ruby Ne Crochet Tejido. Today I'm going to teach you how to crochet this beautiful hat for the set with the cowl or neck warmer that we did last tutorial. It's done with my favorite crochet stitch. It's very easy to do. I hope you guys like it and give it a try. And here is the list of materials you're going to need to make it. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and click on the little bell. That way you get notification each time I upload a video. Remember, I make my videos in Spanish and English. If you receive a Spanish video and you want to see that video in English, go to the main page of my YouTube channel. Then you'll find the English version in there. Also, you can send me a message and I can send you the link. And at the end of each video, I have a playlist with all my English tutorial. To make the hat, the matching hat for the cowl, I'm gonna use the same Caron tea cakes. It's super bulky 6. They recommend an 8mm crochet hook or 8mm netting needle or US 11. Is 80% acrylic, 20% wool, and the color is English breakfast. I'm gonna use 8mm crochet hook or size L US. That is 11. You're gonna need tapestry needle and scissors. I'm gonna use my extra large pom-pom maker that I bought at a wool store. It's very big. I never used it before. It's brand new, and I'm excited to give it a try for the first time, making a big pom-pom for this hat. Last week I did the cowl. Look at how beautiful this color in the stitch. I call it star anise because it looks exactly like the star anise. If you search star anise in pictures in Google, you'll see that they look a lot. They are like this color in here. I love this stitch. I love it. I love it so much that I'm planning to do more tutorial with this stitch in different pieces. So if you don't see the video for the cowl, I'm gonna leave a link. You're gonna see an eye and you click on the eye, or just push the mouth in the eye and you'll see that open up, and it will be the video of the cowl. And then at the end of the video as well, you're gonna see the links for this. And this was the leftover yarn from the cowl, so I'm gonna leave this for the pom-pom, and I'm gonna start with a brand new ball, this one for the hat. I had to pull some of the inside yarn because if you see, I have a little bit at this color here, but I want my hat to start because I'm gonna do the hat from bottom up, from the forehead up, and then I want to be the lighter color to start with. So I'm gonna cut this in here and leave that there, because if you look at the cowl, this is the top part of the cowl and this is the bottom. You will put it like that, and I want the hat to be like this, you see, from the bottom up, the color. So for this leftover yarn, if you put all the leftover yarn, you can make beautiful pieces. I already have, maybe you've seen a hat and a sweater crochet with leftover yarn, and I love it. You know, I love it so much. That said, that is my favorite. So we're gonna start doing the border of the hat around the forehead. We're gonna start with the brim of the hat. So we need to leave a tail long enough for sewing the two ends together to make the circular from the forehead up. So I'm gonna leave a tail, very generous tail. It's better to have extra and not enough to sew your hat. So I'm gonna do a slip knot, and with my 8mm crochet hook, I'm gonna do 12 chains. And 12 chain is because I'm gonna fold the brim, but if you want just a normal single brim without folding back, you can do 6, 7, 8 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see, 6 is the length. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 chains. And I will measure this for you, that way you know the length of those 12 chains. And that is exactly 4.5 inches, and 4.5 inches are 11 centimeters. So you're going to chain 1, and you're going to go to the second chain from the hook, and the top strand you're going to do your first single crochet, and you're going to do 12 single crochet. If you are doing with 12, if you're doing with 6, 7 or 8, you will have that amount of single crochet. So I will count to make sure that I have my 12 single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So you're going to chain 1, you're going to turn your work around, and you're going to go to the first single crochet. You see you have your chain that you did to turn your work around, and you have the first single crochet in here. You go to the first one, because if you go to the second one, you will be decreasing 1 stitch, and that is the mistake that most of us made when we start crochet. At least I did. I usually skip the first one, and always my work it turned that way, so never was straight, because when I learned that we don't have YouTube, so I have to learn the hard way, trying to figure out why my work always was crooked. No even. So that was a mistake, so now I know. So I'm gonna do my last single crochet, and I'm working in the back strand of yarn of the single crochet. I forgot to mention that. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. And you see when I finish my 12, and this strand here is where I'm doing my first one. So I chain 1 to turn my work around, and I go to the back strand at the first single crochet and do the first one. And this is with the single crochet. If you do that with the double crochet, you have to go to the next one because you already have the first one. It's a little bit different with single crochet and double crochet or half double crochet. And here in the last one, I do my number 12, and again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Again, you chain 1, turn your work around. You see you have the chain 1 in here, and then this one is the first single crochet. You go to the back strand, and you do only in the back strand here. You see, if you look at your work, you have like a V in the back leg. You will do your single crochet. So what we're doing here is the brim. So you have to work your single crochet until you have the circumference of the head of the person that you're doing this hat for. So if it's an adult or a girl or a kid, you just measure the circumference of the forehead all the way around the back and top of the ears, and that will be the length that you will give to your brim. But you don't want to lift this too tight that you pull to measure it, or too loose that will be the hat too big. So you have to measure, around like this without pulling too much, because you want this to fit snugly, but not too tight or too loose, okay? Because we're working with thick yarn and these will tend to stretch a lot, okay? So that is my recommendation. I'm gonna work on mine until I have my length, and then I will let you know how many row and the measurement for mine. Remember, all the heads are not the same, and you have to keep account the hair, because some people have a lot of hair, some have less hair, so it's easier for you to take the measurements. And I will measure here when I have mine. So I will show you first, before I go, that my work is straight in here and it's straight in the lower portion. So when I fold this, it will be like this. You can fold it even more, that way this is wider on the outside, like that. So I did 42 row for mine, and don't seem like a lot, but remember this stretch, you see, so it's a good size for me. It's not tight at all, it's a little bit on the loose side, just in case I have my hair down or something, I can wear it as well. So the measurement of this, without stretching it or anything, is 18 inches, exactly 18 inches, and 18 inches is 46 centimeters. But remember, since this stretch will be bigger, like this don't look like that big, but it'll stretch, you see. So this is an adult size. Now I'm gonna sew the two ends together in here, and then I will start with my first round of this. I'm going to show you a trick, that way these stay right in the center of the two pieces. You're going to come here and this side, you're going to pass your hook through the first one, you're going to grab that loop, you're going to pass it through, you're going to chain one, I'm going to tie that chain in there and pull that one, and you see it's in the center between those two. Now with the tapestry needle, I'm going to sew these two ends together. I'm gonna grab this strand from this side and the one in the top, and this, not the one under, and the one in the top, and here you'll have one. It's almost like a little line. That way when you sew these two together, it will be, you see, like a lower, because it's like a little mountain, and you go down, it's a down, and you don't gonna see the seam. So here when I was losing the tail, I didn't realize that this is gonna be folded the inside out. So in here I just had to remove my yarn and bring it a little lower just to lose that tail in the inside, because I will show you just what I turn here and do a little more. You hardly see it, but yes, I'm gonna pull and just remove a couple more in here, and that'll be enough. So in here, and one more, and here. So I will lose the tail in that little piece. So you see, in the inside, when you put your hat on, you will be folding like this, and still you don't see where you end or start your hat. You see, it looks really nice. So, and this is the outside, just in case you don't gonna fold it. So it's perfect. So I'm gonna finish securing the tail, and then we're gonna start with our stitch. We're gonna start with our stitch here, and that slip stitch that I did here and the chain, I tied it really tight. That way that one is secure here, the two ends, and I'm gonna chain 3. So if you already seen the video of the cowl, we're gonna do this stitch now, and that stitch is always start the first row. You're gonna do a yarn over. You have to loop in your hook. You're gonna come here to the same space where you did a slip stitch. You have 3, yarn over. You have 4. Now we're gonna work only in the little top of this rib, because it's like a little rib. You see, you have the lower, or like a little mountain. You have the lower part, and then you have the top of the peak of the mountain. So in the top of this one is where we're gonna work. You're gonna pass it through there. And then I think I grab a strand from. You have 5 loops. You're gonna close those 5 loops like this, and then you're gonna chain 1 for separation, and that chain 1 is replacing the stitch that we are not working in here. So you're gonna do yarn over. You're gonna go at the same space where you did the last leg of the stitch. You're gonna pass your hook. You have 3, yarn over. You go to the next one, always keeping the lower going to the top. You have 5. You are going to close those 5, and then you're going to chain 1. Again, yarn over. You're going to come at the same place where you did the last leg of the stitch. You have 3, yarn over. You skip the lower ridge here, and you go to the top of the peak here, and you have 5. You're going to close those 5 and chain 1, and like that I start to look the stitch. Again, yarn over. You have 2, pass it through the same space. You have 3, yarn over, come here. You have 5. I'm gonna close those 5. You always have to close those 5 like that, and then you're gonna chain 1, and like that you're gonna continue all the way around. So here for the stitch is if you find that working with the same hook that you did the lower part is too small at the top, what you do, you change to the 9mm. I'm gonna do this completely round with the 8mm. If I find that it's a little bit too tight, too straight, I will change to the 9mm. But I'm gonna try first with these 8. Okay, so you're gonna continue doing this and all the way around until you get here to the last one, and then of this one. I'll show you how we're gonna close and start the next round. I wanted to show you where I pass my hook. So let me do this stitch, and here you go to the same space of the last leg. You have 3, yarn over. So if you look at your work in here, you will see that almost form like a V. So you go to the first V in here, because if you try to go in the tip, you will find it and don't gonna work. You have to go in that V in here, and you see how easy the hook went in. You close those 5, chain 1, and again you go to the same space, yarn over, and you see it's like a V in here. You go in that V, you see, almost look like a net stitch in there, and you're gonna close it in the top and then chain one, and like that you're gonna continue all the way around until you get to the last one to finish that first round. I'm gonna finish my first round, so I can do my yarn over in the same space where I did the last stitch. I'm gonna pass my hook. I have 3 yarn over, and here when I did this one, you see I pulled the yarn open when I did that single crochet, but then I'm gonna grab this strand in the front, and from that one in the front and the one at the back I'm gonna do my stitch, and that will be perfect there. So I have 5. I'm gonna close this 5, and we don't gonna do a chain space because we chain 3 to start our work, and the slip stitch I'm gonna do in the second chain, leaving the third chain for the space. And like that we finish row 1. I'm gonna continue working with my 8mm crochet hook, because if you look at my hat, you see it's not straight, it's open a little bit, so that means that I don't need to change my hook side. If you have to change because this one is not open enough, you'll change to 8.5 or 9mm crochet hook. Now I'm gonna do a change in the stitch for the hat in row 2 that I don't find that I needed to do in the cowl, because in the cowl this will go bunch up in the back and you don't want to see the seam, but in the hat you will see the seam. So in the cowl I end up having that little open space in here, but if you leave that like that in the hat, you will see that's open square, and I don't want it that. So to change that, what I'm gonna do, again we're gonna chain 3, and first I'm gonna show you how I did the cowl stitch. So I went on top of this 5, my yarn, I have 3, yarn over, I went on top of this 5, pass the yarn through, I have 5, and I close those 5. So you see when I do the slip stitch I will have that open square, so I want to pass a strand of yarn through here to close that square. That way you don't have that open space. So instead of doing it in a yarn over, you're gonna come here where the same space where you did that slip stitch, you're gonna pass it through to the back, pull your yarn, and pull a loop, and then you're gonna do yarn over, go to the 5 space, you have 4, yarn over, you have 5, and then you go to the next 5 space, you have 6, you're gonna close those 6, and you're gonna chain 1, and the extra stitch that I did, you see when I do my slip stitch, this will be nice and close in the back. And if you want to see that again, just slow down the video in the setting under the video. So again, yarn over, you're gonna go to the same space where you did the last stitch, you're gonna pull through, you're gonna do yarn over, you have 4, you go to the next chain, the next 5 stitches on the top, and you're gonna have 5, you're gonna close those 5, and you see when you close this 5 you are creating the space for the next round, because we're working in those space in the top. So you come to this one, again you pass it through, you have 3, yarn over, you go on top of this 5 where you close them in the top, again you have 5, you're gonna close the 5, and there is where you're gonna work next round, and you're gonna, oh I forgot to chain 1 here. Don't forget to chain 1 because you will know that you missed the chain 1 space. You have the 5, you're gonna close in here and chain 1, and you see we don't gonna get that hole in here. And I already was doing the decrease of my hat when I realized I don't like the way it look, and I just, you know, took it apart and start all over again. So I'm a little bit tired, frustrated now that I'm working in the hat again. So if I forget to chain one space, you know that is that I'm tired, but I will remove it and do it again. So again, you go to the same space, you have 3, yarn over, you go to the top of the 5, you have 5, you're going to close this 5 and chain 1. And like that, you're going to continue all around this, and then I will show you how you're going to finish here. And I will show you one more time. Yarn over, you go in the space that you did the last stitch, you pass it through, you have 3, yarn over, you go to the next space, you have 5, you're going to close those 5 and chain 1, and you're going to continue all the way around. I'm going to finish round 2. So I have the space in here and this fold one. So I'm going to come here, pass it through, I have 3, yarn over, go to the last one, pass it through, I have 5, I'm going to close this 5, chain 1. So if I slip stitch here, you see this one tend to go to pucker up, and it will be decreasing half of the stitch, this half in here, because if I do this, you see this extra leg in here, I only have half on top of this one, so we have to do that extra one. So you're going to do a yarn over, you're going to go to the same space, and you have 3, you're going to close this 3, and you don't want to do a chain space, you're just going to count 1, and in the second one you're going to do your slip stitch, and like that you finish round 2. And you see, by doing that extra little leg there, you don't want to have an open space. I'm glad I front my hat, just pull it back and rip it. So you're going to chain 3 again, 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to do the repetition of round 1. You're going to do a yarn over, go to that same space where you did the slip stitch. I like to pass it through the slip stitch in the top and the chain space in the back. So I have 3, yarn over, go on top of this one where you did the extra one, the first stitch, and you have 5, you're going to close this 5, chain 1, and you see, perfect. So again, you're going to go to the same space, you have 3, yarn over, go to the next one, you have 5, and you're going to close this 5 and chain 1. And you see, I'm glad, I really glad that I took it apart, because I wasn't looking that great in the hat. So you see, I put everything inside there, everything that I pulled. So again, I will show you one more time. Yarn over, go to the same space in here. You have 3, yarn over, go to the next 5 group on the top. You have 5, you're going to close this 5. And you see, each time you close the 5 in the top, you're creating the space for the next round. Chain 1 and continue. You're going to continue like that, and I will show you how you're going to finish round 3. That is the repetition of 1. I'm going to finish round 3. So we're going to be working in this stitch in here and that extra little leg that we did, because if we don't do that one, we'll be finishing here. And look at what we'll create in there. So we have to do that extra leg at the end. So you pass it through, you have 3, yarn over, you have 4, and you go to that extra one that we did at the end, and you have 5. You're gonna close this 5, and you don't want to do a chain space, because we're gonna do the slip stitch in the second chain, and the third one is there for that separation. And like that you finish round 2. And I'm glad, really glad, that I took apart my hat and start all over again, because look at that, it's perfect. So this stitch, it had a metamorphosis, because each time I do a project with it, I change something to make it better. this stitch supposed to be work in the straight, not in the round, so I have been changing it to work in the round. So I think now is perfect. So you're gonna change, and look at this, right in the front. It changed color, but when I fold this, that will hide in behind, so it's perfect. So you're gonna chain 3, and again we're gonna do the repetition of round 2, that is creating that extra stitch in here. So you're gonna come here where the slip stitch and the chain space is, and you're gonna pass it through there, and you're gonna pull to elongate it, and then you're gonna do yarn over. Pass through the top of the 5, and then you're gonna do a yarn over and go to the top of the 5, and you have 6. Only in this one you will have 6. You're gonna close those 6 and chain 1, and then you're gonna continue with the stitch exactly the same as you've done so far. You're gonna continue all the way around, only with 5 little legs. I call them legs. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Close those 5 in the top, and I miss my chain space here. You see? Sometimes you have to make sure. So I will meet you here at the end of this round. I'm gonna do working at the end of this round. So I'm gonna close this 5 and chain 1, and in here I had to do that extra leg, the 3. You're gonna close those 3, and then you're gonna come here to the second chain and do slip stitch, and like that you finish round 4. And you see, you hardly see the seam at the stitch here. It is perfect. I really love this. So for my side of the hat, it had to measure from the fold around 5.5 inches. So that's why I have this marker here to guide myself for the measurements. So I will measure this, what I've done so far, because if I measure from here, I'm already ready to almost finish the hat, but this is going to be folded like that, so around here. But if you're doing this short, then you don't want to fold it, and then you measure from the border. Okay, so for me, I'm going to guide myself around in here, and I have done exactly 4 inches, so I have 1.5 inches to do, around 2 more rounds, and those 4 inches is 10 centimeters. So I'm going to continue working, but I will show you how to do those 2 rounds again. That way you don't feel like I left you hanging there. So I really like this. I like the change that I did. I wish I had realized that when I did my cowl, but well, it's already done. So let's show you how to do again repetition. We're gonna work in round 5, and we're gonna do the repetition of 1. So you're gonna chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, yarn over. You have 2, and you go to the same space. You see, I go through the slip stitch, the chain space in the back, and pass it through those 2 like that. And then you have 3, yarn over. You come here to the top of this one, you pass it through. You have 5, and you're gonna close those 5, chain 1, and then yarn over. Go to the same space that you did last stitch. You have 3, yarn over. Go to the next one. You have 5, close those 5, chain 1, and like that you're gonna continue. And I'll show you how you're gonna finish this. I'm gonna finish the last one in here. So I have 3, yarn over, I have 4, go to the last stitch, that this one, the lonely one. You have 5, you're gonna close this 5. You're not gonna do the chain 1, just do the slip stitch and top of the second chain, and like that you finish the round. And you see it's the same repetition over and over. I'm gonna do now the repetition of 2, and that will be row 6 or round 6, and I will measure to see from the marker to the end of the next round. I have 5.5 inches, and then I will start in round 7 with a decrease. Now I'm gonna do the repetition of 2, so chain 3. You don't gonna do your yarn over, just come here at the same space where you did the slip stitch, and just pull to elongate that strand, and then is when you do the yarn over. You have 3 passes through, you have 4, yarn over, you have 5, and go to this stitch, you have 6, and you're gonna close those 6, chain 1, and then you're gonna continue working with the same repetition all the way until the end. I will show you how to finish the end, and then we start with decrease if it's time for decrease. We almost finished this round, number 6. So I'm gonna do the last fold one in here, chain 1, and then we're gonna do the half of one with 3 strands. We're gonna close. I pull it too long. Close it, and I don't gonna chain 1. I just gonna come here to the second chain and do my slip stitch, and then row around 6. So now I'm gonna measure. If I measure 5.5 and more is perfect. Don't you see exactly? If you look here, it's 5.5, and there is the stitch that the marker is. It's exactly 5.5 inches those 6 round. So now I want to do the round of decrease, and I have been giving you the measurement just in case you are working with a thinner yarn. You know how long you had to work for, so you probably had to do more round, but with this thick one, only 6 before the decrease. Now we're gonna work in 7, and it's the repetition of 1. So we're gonna start exactly the same, 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over, go to the same space, and pull your yarn through. You have 3. Yarn over, go to the next one. You have 5. You're gonna close those 5 and chain 1. Now we're gonna do a decrease between this one in here, and the next one, these 3 here. Okay, so yarn over, you go to the same space as the last stitch. You have 3, yarn over, you go to the next one, you have 5, yarn over, you have 6, and go to the next one and you have 7. You're gonna close those 7 stitches, chain 1, and you did the first decrease. Now you go to the next space and you're gonna do just a regular stitch. You have 3, yarn over, go to the next one. You have 5, close those 5, and chain 1. And that's how we're gonna decrease. So we're gonna do another decrease. Again, between this one here, and this one. Yarn over, you go to that space. You have 3, yarn over, you go to the next space. You have 5, yarn over, and go to the last space. You have 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops. You're gonna close those 7 loops, and then you're gonna chain 1, and then you're gonna do a regular stitch with 5. And that is how you're gonna do the decrease. Chain 1, and now you have to do another decrease. So you're gonna be doing 1 regular stitch, 1 decrease, regular stitch, decrease, regular stitch, decrease, and so on until the end. Here I'm gonna do the decrease and the last stitches. You see this one, and the little leg in here. So I start with a regular stitch and finish with a decrease. So I have 3, yarn over, you have 5, yarn over, 6, and in the last one 7. You're gonna close those 7, and you're not gonna chain 1. You're gonna go here in the second chain and do your slip stitch, and like that you finish round 7 and a first round a decrease, and you see it start to get round on the top of the crown of the hat. Now we're going to work on round 8, and it will be the repetition of 2 with no decrease, just the regular stitches. And I wanted to mention that my hat have 21 of these motif because I had 42 rounds or a row, and here 42, and when I close it I have my 42, so I did one stitch and I skip one stitch and I skip one, so was the half of the 42 was my 21. I had 21 of this motif, and I really recommend to try when you're gonna do the first round of decrease to be in the repetition of round 1. That way it will work, otherwise it probably don't gonna work for you if you do the decrease and the repetition of round 2. Okay, that's something important, that even if it's a little no 5.5 inches, probably a little bit less or a little bit more, don't matter, because you have that extra here to full. Okay, better a little extra than no enough. So we're gonna do repetition of 2, sorry. You're gonna chain 3, you're gonna come here and do that extra stitch. I'm gonna pull it through these 2, elongate a stitch, and then you do your yarn over, go to the first one, you have 4, yarn over, and go to the next one, you have 6. You have 6 because of that extra we did here, otherwise you will have 5. You close those stitches, chain 1, and you're going to continue with your regular 5 all the way around with no decrease. And then in the next one we'll do another decrease. So I'll meet you here at the end of this round. I'm gonna finish here this round. I had to do a regular stitch, chain 1, and now we're gonna do that 3 strand to create a little leg, and then you're gonna do the slip stitch and the second chain, and like that you're gonna finish round 8. And now we're gonna work on round 9. That is a decrease round. So I was at this point when I realized that it was looking very bad, that stitch a hole in here, and then I undid my hat. So I was at this point. So now we're gonna do a decrease round. Now we're gonna do again the repetition of round 1 and a decrease round. 3, yarn over, the same space, yarn over, gonna come here, you have 5, you're gonna close those 5 and chain 1, and now we're gonna do a decrease. So that is exactly the same as the last decrease round. Okay, so you're gonna repeat those last 2 rounds, the one with decrease and without a decrease, so that will be 7 and 8. A regular stitch, and like that you're gonna continue, and this one you're gonna do without decrease, a decrease, without decrease, decrease, and so on, and you're gonna finish here with 1 without decrease. Okay, and then after you do this round 9, you're gonna do 10 without any decrease, and then I will meet you here. It's exactly the same as you did the last 2. I'll show you anyway how to finish that round 9. So in 10 I'm gonna do a regular round with no decrease, but I wanted to mention, if you want this for a ponytail hat or a bun hat, I'm gonna leave a picture here that I took with my cell phone. I put it on, and I have a bun, so you will see it. If you want here to do a finish, you can do a row of single crochet or half double crochet or double crochet in here and leave it open, lose the tail, and you are done. But since I want a regular hat, I'm gonna do round 10 without any decrease, and it will be the repetition of 2. I finished that round, and now we have to close the top of our hat. So you're gonna need an extra crochet hook the same size, and if you don't have the same hook and you have a Tunisian crochet, the one with the cable, you can use that, or you can use a different size hook, you know, a 7.5 or a 9, just to help close the top, because we're gonna do a nice finish in the top. So I'm gonna use this 8mm that I have here. That's a little bit short in here, but I will try to put as many stitches as I can in this one. And you'll see why I'm saying this, because we're gonna close this, just the yarn overs and the loops all the way around. Now you'll see why we need those 2 hooks. I have a Tunisian crochet with a cable, but probably most of you guys don't have that. So if I do it with a cable, it will be easier for me to do, but you will don't know what to do with your crochet hook. So that's why I'm doing it with a hook. So you're going to chain 3 as to do the stitch. The yarn over it, you're going to come here as to do the stitch. I'm going to pull through, yarn over, you go on top as to do the stitch, but we don't gonna do the stitch. Yarn over, go to the next one, pull, yarn over, go to the next one, yarn over, go to the next, specify in the top. You do this as many as you can until you can't do this no more. Doing the yarn over and pulling the loop, yarn over and go to the top of the 5 and like that, and yarn over, and I will do the last one. You see, after this one, that's it. I don't can put any more in here because my hook don't go around. So now with the help of the other hook, I'm gonna do the yarn over, and I'm gonna come here and do this one, yarn over, go to the next one, and you're gonna pull it through, yarn over, and go to the last one. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. You're gonna pull it through, and then you're gonna come here to the chain 2 or chain 3 and the second chain, and you're gonna pass that tail through, and then slowly you're gonna pass it through those loops, you know, wiggling around, and then you finish with a hook. And now you're gonna come with this one, and you're gonna pull the loop in here, and you're gonna pass that loop, just wiggling around, that way you don't let go, all the way around, all the way around, until you take it out at the end. And I think I grabbed something in there on the way. Yep, there. So here you will move them around and pull these, wiggle them around, that way they get to their place. Okay, and then you're going to chain 1, you're going to cut the yarn, you know what you're going to pull, cut the yarn, and you're going to lose that tail in the inside, and you see how nice it will look on the top. A really nice finish, because remember we're doing this hat from down up. Usually we do hats from the top down in crochet. So now I will cut my yarn, and I will lose that tail, and then we just have to do our pom-pom. And then I will pass this to the inside. And that is the top of our hat. You don't have to do a pom-pom if you don't want, because it looks really nice. If you lose the tail, that you don't see the little knots, like I try to hide it under these strands, if you don't do a pom-pom for the hat, this hat is reversible. So this will be this is the inside. Look, the stitch is different than when you put it right side out. The stitch look like a different stitch completely. So if you don't do a pom-pom, you can do this hat reversible. But for mine, I want to do a pom-pom, so I'm going to use my pom-pom maker. I fold the brim of the hat, and look how nice I look with this stitch. I love this crochet hat. They have a gorgeous design. So now I'm gonna do the pom-pom, and I'm gonna do it with the leftover yarn that I have from the brand of this pom-pom maker is Clover. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work doing the pom-pom. I don't gonna be giving the instruction. I just gonna show you the steps, because I want to record this video for both English and Spanish. So if I start talking in Spanish, you guys don't gonna go and understand anything, and vice versa. If I speak in English, my Spanish as a subscriber don't gonna understand what I'm saying. So it's better to do it without explaining, just showing exactly what to do. I decided to show you how to shape it. I grab a little bag, that way this is not all over the place, and that way you can see how I will shape my pom-pom. So the pom-pom look like this, nice and huge. I love it. I love it, love it. So you see, by investing in a pom-pom maker, that one was $13.80 Canadian in Wall Time. That's the name of the store here in Ottawa. But I save money by not wasting yarn, because I used to do my pom-pom with cardboard, and you waste a lot of yarn because you had to cut a lot to do the shaping, so you waste there. And here you hardly waste anything, just a few tips and that's it. So I don't know if they have them at any craft store, but this one I bought it at a wool store, just you know, where they sell alpaca yarn, merino yarn. It's a special wool store, not a craft store. Okay, so I love it, love, love, love it. Now I'll show you how I'm going to put it on. Look at how gorgeous these look together in here. I love it. So with a smaller crochet hook, remember when you are shaping the pom-pom, try not to cut your long strand for tying your pom-pom. So I'm gonna come from here and in here, opposite side. That way I get a good grip inside and it will secure really well my pom-pom. So I'm gonna bring it inside out, and I will very tie my pom-pom inside, and look how gorgeous these look together. This set, if you get this as a Christmas present, the person gonna love you even more. And you can do this with carrot tea cake, all the colors that they have. You can make this if you have a lot of girls in your family. You can do this, all the different colors, and they will be very happy, because it's warm, very warm, because here in the ears it will keep it very warm, even that it's open, and the top still is a very warm hat, and it looks amazing. So I'm gonna tie this in the inside, and then I will show you the end result. Lose the tail, but I have an idea. You can do a little bow in here like this, and if one day the person that you give the hat have to wash the hat, they can remove the pom-pom, remove the bow, loose up the 3 knot with a needle, with the tip of the needle. They can lose it, remove the pom-pom, wash the hat, and then they can place back the pom-pom. But you have to give the instruction of the yarn how to care for the piece. Okay, this one is hand wash and lay flat, so it's better to remove the pom-pom, that way don't lose the shape. Well, look how gorgeous these look together. Amazing. And the person that you give this, they don't gonna think this is crochet. This is the seam in here, so when they put it on, they don't gonna have a seam. It's gonna be pretty much almost seamless. Very little show the chain in here. And you turn around, it's gorgeous. So if you make a few sets of these, this is what I have left from 2 balls of yarn. This one is from the first one that I did the cowl and the pom-pom, and this one is from the hat. So if you give a few of these set as present, and you have tons of leftover from this project and other projects, you can make a beautiful set with leftover yarn. I have this set in my channel. Is the hat made with leftover yarn, and it looks amazing, and a sweater that is made too with leftover yarn, and is incredible. I love this set. This set is mine. This one is not a present. This is my set. So it's an idea. I'm gonna leave the link here just in case you don't see that video and you want to do you know, hats. You can do multiple hats with just leftover. You don't have to do the sweater. So I will leave the links here. I'll put this in my mannequin and I'll show you the end result. But I'm just, don't look crochet, incredible. If you live in a country like the winters are like this, and you give that as a present, this set, the person will really appreciate, because here is fall and look how it's snowing early. Well, wow. This is the end result and is a spectacular piece. I'm very proud of myself. Kidding. Yes, I am, because this is amazing. This is a showstopper piece. Honestly, if you make this and you give it as a present or keep it for yourself, everybody will be looking at you when you have this on, because it's an amazing set. And you don't have to use just Caron tea cake. You can use any other yarn that is bulky 6 or 5, because if you use just a regular medium 4, don't gonna be, you know, like bulky like this. This look amazing, and it's not tight or anything. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous set. Well, this is the end result, and I absolutely love this set. This is one of my favorite sets because it's nice and warm, and the stitches make it look absolutely gorgeous. I hope you guys like it, and give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. And you make this beautiful set or any of my design and you want to send me some pictures, you can do it through my Facebook page, Ruby Crochet Tejido, or my Instagram, Ruby Crochet Tejido. Please share my video with friends and family and in groups. That way you help me grow here on YouTube. I wish you have a beautiful day. Bye.